Let's talk about a list in Python. A list is a data type just like strings and numbers that stores a list of items using square brackets. Let's define a list of items and then store them in a variable myList. I define myList variable, then assign it to a list of items using square brackets, and this item can be of any data type. It can be numbers, strings, and so on. So let's start with numbers, maybe 145, and maybe you can have some string like hello, and we separate these items using comma. Let's print this list onto the screen. If I print my list variable and run our file, it will return our items surrounded with square brackets. We also have methods that you can use to modify our list. For example, if I want to add a new element into our list, I will use .append method on our list. Let's say my list.append, and then the element or the item that I want to add into our list. Let's say, for example, if I want to add world onto our list and run our file, it's going to return our list and then the new item appended at the end of our list. What this append does is that this method appends an item at the end of a list. And if I want to add an item at a specific location in a list, I will have to use the .insert method. The .insert method will let you specify the location index where you want to add your list item and then the item itself. Let's use the .insert method on our list. So it takes two arguments. The first argument is the location index where you want to insert your list item. For example, let's say if I want to insert an item at the beginning of our list, I'll use the 0 index because a list is also a 0-based index. The second argument is the item itself. Let's say I want to add world. If you run our file again, it's going to return our list with the world item at the beginning of our list. So this insert method will give you that flexibility to add an item where you want. It's more like the append method, but it gives you that flexibility to add an item at a certain location index. We also have the join method. The join method joins a list of strings into one single string value. For example, let's say you had a list of strings. If I convert these numbers into strings by surrounding them with quotes, I can also add this world string to our list at the end here. And if I want to use the join method on this list of strings, I will first have to define what I want to separate with my string values after joining them. So let's first say I want to separate my string values using space, underscore space, and then I will use the join method. I will define what I want to join. I want to join this list of strings. I can use the variable myList. Let me store this in a variable, maybe list2, and I want to print this list2 onto our screen and see what we have returned by running this file. And it has returned our values after joining our list of strings under one string value, and this is the same as saying I have all these values under one string. So it has joined them. It has joined this list of strings under one string. So they exist under the same string, in other words, and it has separated these strings values with whatever you have specified on this join method. So if let's say if you want to separate our string values with a plus sign, run our file again, so it's going to return our values separated by the plus sign. So you can specify whatever you want to separate with your values here before calling the join method. We also have the split method that does exactly the opposite of the join method. The split method returns a list of strings when you call it on a string. Let's say that we had these values as a string stored in a variable. So if we store this as a string in a variable list3 and use the split method on this list3, split. So the split method is going to return the list version of this string. So after converting it into a list, let's store it in a variable and print that variable If you run our file again,